Let's go to the phone lines and welcome him in. Corey Beck, former Razorback, kind enough to make some time for us this morning. Corey, we really appreciate it. I want to start the 95 season in the NCAA tournament. Everyone remembers you guys getting to a second consecutive national championship, but people forget you guys almost lost in the first game against Texas Southern early. How difficult is it to play a mid-major in the first round when you're expected to win the ball game?
It's very hard. First of all, it's very hard to repeat championships. It's so tough to get back to that level. I think the whole state of Arkansas was praying for us, so we had some lucky breaks that got us through. But mentally, Coach Richardson kept us focused all the way through. It's very important to save your legs as much as possible. But knowing each team are going to be gunning at you, it's very difficult. You know, you can get up for a lot of games, and a lot of games, people are going to get up for you. So mentally, you have to be prepared for that.
Corey, we were looking at some video and some photos of the team going to Niagara Falls yesterday. It's one of kind of the side trips to their time in Buffalo. Do you remember did Coach Richardson take y'all on these side trips? Do you remember anything fun like that the team did back on your trips to the NCAA tournament?
Well, we just spent a lot of time with him and Ms. Rose. He did a lot of cooking at the house, and during the time at the house, we watched a lot of videos together and just spent a lot of time together. Practice was probably about 35 minutes and filled with music and just basically getting in and getting a sweat, not going real hard at each other, just staying focused. That's the main part, and staying away from the TVs, the newspapers, anything that would turn us in different directions. So we spent a lot of time together and knew that if we won it was going to be together, and that was our main focus throughout the run that we had.
Corey Beck with us here on the Morning Rush. When you watch Eric Musselman and his intensity, and you know about the intensity of the coach you played for, any similarities or anything you see in the way they handle their teams that brings back old memories for you, and the way Eric Musselman is so intense with his team?
Well, a lot of people don't know. I met Coach Muss when I played in the Continental League, and that was right out of college, and I played for a team called Sioux Falls Skyforce, and he coached for the Florida Beach Dogs. And the first 2 years we met in the championship each year, and Coach was very, very aggressive. He was a feisty coach. I would have loved to play for him. But the thing that him and Coach Richardson had alike, that they wanted to win no matter what the circumstances was. They were willing to coach you. He would always say, if you fighting a bear, you better not pick the bear. You better pick me. That's the attitude that he installed in us as players on the floor. No matter what the game was ever over with, we can always come back and win. And I see the same thing in Coach Muss.
We're talking with Corey Beck here on the Morning Rush. Corey, you mentioned that will to win and just kind of the team chemistry that you guys had during your years at Arkansas. There were some questions about this team's chemistry with guys coming in through the transfer portal. It's hard to establish that. You had that rut at the beginning of conference play, and then they reeled off 15 of 18 wins. When you're in the course of a season, if you have guys transferred in or new freshmen or whatever, how difficult is it to figure out each other's roles? And in your opinion, how long does it take before you fully realize what each guy is capable of and should be doing out there on the court?
Well, it's incredible, if you ask me, the way that Coach and his staff put this team together, because my first season here, we made it to the Sweet 16, and we all were sitting back watching the championship run that the guys made on TV. And afterwards, I think everybody in the room was teary-eyed. So we went to work that day and stayed in the stayed in the gym the whole summer, and new guys came in. We all gelled together. So it took a summer and a whole year for us to gel. Now you see guys come on this team are just fresh in this season, haven't had a full summer of basketball. In some kind of way, we've managed to gel together. I've been watching this team in practice, and I think we got a great group of guys on the floor and on the bench. I still say to this day we hadn't had a perfect game yet played this season, and normally you don't see that. Normally you see a game where, at least one game where a team come out and make every shot that they throw up, but it hadn't happened yet. We've been winning on defense. The defense is the key to our victories, and I'm still waiting on that one game to where we just come out and play unbelievable basketball.
Corey, you and Corliss were on the same page a lot of time, a big man and his point guard. J.D. Note and Jalen Williams have both stepped up from where they were last year to where they are this year. Do you notice any similarities between the connection that Jalen and J.D. share that you and Corliss shared back in the day?
Oh, yeah, defense. A lot of people looked at me as being a defensive stopper, but you looked at Corliss worked his tail off, too, on the defensive end. And the same as Note, like he touches the balls, like just touching the ball on defense, it works miracles for us. And then you look at Jalen Williamson, he touches the ball, he talks to guys. It's important to have that anchor behind you, because as a guard, we're pushing up, but you can always trust that you got help side, and the help side is always there. Lately, I think we've been a little off on defense, but that happens from time to time. As long as we keep communicating like we're doing on the defensive end, I think we have a great chance of winning a lot of basketball.
Corey, what's the feeling like as a player when you step onto that floor that has the March Madness logo like the team will today, and you know that the whole nation's watching because it's the NCAA tournament? What's the feeling like as a player going into this event?
Well, for me, it was great just to be still playing at this time, and a lot of teams are heading home, and they got to get to the point where they have to watch us play. But at the same time, is not losing focus of the big goal. If you win it, when you win a game, it's good to celebrate that moment, but the next day is back to work. So I basically started the season, the first game, every game, I wanted to make sure my intensity level was always up there. So when I get to big games, I raise my level just a little bit. Like every game, if you play it, if it's your last game, you won't have problems at the end of the season.
Sure, you and some of your teammates and the guys you went through with still stay in touch. What's those texts like? What's those conversations like when you're looking at Hog Ball today and seeing kind of a revival or resurgence in the success of the program? Bud Walton Arena being back to the way it was when it's brand new when you played. What do you and your former teammates? What's the kind of the consensus feeling about where the state of the program is right now?
Well, the thing about Muss, he's brought back guys throughout the year to sit and have lunch, dinner at the gym. After we finish eating together, we all sit back and dialogue about basketball and the things that we've been through and the things that we thought that the guys would go through, and they've asked us questions, and we've done that a couple of times throughout the year. So we're pretty close with the guys that's out there playing right now. So we try to keep them tuned up on the direction of the end of the season and the focus that you have to have. And most of the guys that was here are not here anymore. I've been here for the past 11 years with my company, of course, and so any kind of question they automatically call me or Clyde Fletcher, and that's about the team, how we're looking. The thing about Muss is he keeps the team on and off the floor, focused on the big goal, and that's very important. And the big goal for us is to win the gold ball again this season. And I think the attitude that we have is great. It's high. Our confidence level is high. Right now, we think we can play with anybody in the country, so that's very important.
Me and you are about in the same age range, so it's a weird feeling when you're going there and talking to those players, I'm sure now, and you're hanging out around some guys that weren't even born when you played. How does that make you? How does that make you feel?
Funny. Yeah. It's funny, man. It's funny because when I was a player, I almost hated when guys came to speak to us because I said, well, I used to think in my mind, well, what this guy has to talk about that I don't already know. I figured I knew everything at that age. Yeah. But you know, you step back and look at the overall picture. And I used to be excited when, you know, Ron Brewer, whenever he saw me out, Ron Brewer Sr., whenever he saw me out, he'd pull me to the side and give me some words of wisdom. And that helped me out. So I kind of calmed down a little bit in life. And so now when I go and talk to the guys or when I see one of them around campus, it's very important for me to just say something. It don't have to be all the time about basketball, but just how you doing, how the family doing. Things like that is very important. Yeah. You know, we ask a lot of these guys to come here and play basketball and go to school every day and try your best not to make mistakes in life, but it's tough to do. So it's fun for me to stay close to the guys and continue to be a huge Hog fan.
Yeah, I love it. What year were you born? 2002. I got underwear older than you, man.
Yeah. But you know what? The attitude that the guys give me is very respectable. I never look at a guy and when I finish talking to him, like, this guy didn't hear nothing I just said. So these, I love the attitude of the guys, and I'm praying for them that they continue to do well.
Corey, you know what it takes to win a national championship. Do you think this team does?
I think we have that. I think we're a little undersized because when Jalen get in foul trouble, we're in trouble. Mm-hmm. I think if we had one more 6'11", 7-footer that was in our rotation, I would feel a whole lot better. On the guard standpoint, I think we can play with anybody. I think we can switch out. We got 6'5", 6'6" kids out there playing, you know, guards, and I think we can compete with anybody on that level. The only place I think we're hurting is one more big guy, and I think Coach is working on that.
Corey, if I remember correctly, that 95 season, I was talking about the Texas Southern. You also went to overtime with Syracuse. Those games were played in Austin, Texas, which is about as hostile environment as it gets for Arkansas Razorbacks. They're going up to the Northeast, Buffalo. I hope there's going to be a good chunk of Arkansas fans that make the trip. I would suspect there might be some more Vermont. If they get past the Catamounts to face UConn, there'll be some Husky fans there on Saturday. Yeah. What's it like going to a place when you're getting to play in Barnhill, getting to play in Bud Walton Arena, that raucous atmosphere, that advantage, and then going to a neutral site or a place that the cards are even stacked to get you against you? How do you figure that out? How do you navigate through that?
Well, if you can survive, to me, in the SEC, going to Kentucky, going to Tennessee, being able to play in the Bud Walton, I think you can play anywhere in the country because the SEC fans are faithful. The Razorback fans are at the top of the list for me. So that energy was always high. Going to Ole Miss, going to Mississippi State, playing in those arenas was the attitude that you had to have. I mean, you had to be almost unbreakable. If you're able to go there and deal with the fans and win a ball game, and then the fans, they clap for you. But if you was able to go there and not able to win, they booze you. I mean, it's plain and simple. And if you went there and worked your tail off and won ball games, it was okay. It wasn't a bad thing. I mean, fans were disappointed, of course, but you win when you get out and work hard. So when you go on the road anywhere, it's the same attitude. Okay, have your mindset ready for some boos. Some people could just go and yell against you, of course, but it's the same thing you've been working on since last year, all through the summer, the tour days, the focus to win ball games down the stretch is very important. So I think with this team, we'll focus. From last year, we remember the feeling that we had when we lost to a good team that went on to win the championship. And this season, I think we're a couple of notches ahead of where we were last year.
Yeah. Corey, I'm sure you filled your bracket out. I'd be interested to know, who do you have in your Final Four?
I hadn't even I hadn't even filled the bracket out.
Oh man!
It's so crazy because two of my best friends sent me their bracket, and then I had like three guys on the internet send me their bracket, and I was looking at them last night, and I said, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and go through these brackets to see. And I got swamped with paperwork, so hopefully this week I get a chance to fill them out. But Arkansas is definitely one of the teams I got going to the Final Four.
All right,
that's awesome.
That's great. Well, thanks for your time. One of the great legends right here. So.
Corey, appreciate it, man. And last thing before we let you go, you mentioned the paperwork. You mentioned your time being consumed. I know for those who don't know, you've got your own painting company up here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah. My grandfather was a painter. My dad was a painter. So when I was 5 and 6 years old and wanted to go out and play with the kids, I had to go to work, and I didn't really understand why. But it's kind of in my blood. We have a commercial and residential company that we paint properties, interior, exterior. We also provide sheetrock work, stained flooring, pretty much anything you got to do with a house. We do it at Corey Beck Custom Paint. And the number to that is 479-502-7103. And we do it probably 7 days a week. I like going to the gym and watch the guys. I like going to the gym to watch my daughter play. I got a niece over at Fayetteville High School, so every break that I get is going to be in the gym, watch some basketball. But other than that, I'm helping a client. Because when I first got here, the quality of work is very high here, but the prices was super high. So I was able to bring my company here and start giving people some reasonable prices for some good quality of work, and that's important to me.
Well, we'll let you do the honeydews. That way we can watch the game today. So how about that?
Right on, man. I appreciate you guys, man.
All right. The great Corey Beck, thanks for your time this morning.
It's that time of year as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you can have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts.